14th March 2022. Morning Murli, Shanti, BapDada, Madhuban. Sweet children, see the Father using your third eye of knowledge and only remember the Father. While seeing this body, do not see it. Question: what direction have you children received by living in this old world? Answer: sweet children, this old world in which you are living is to become a graveyard. There is the kingdom of Brahman or it, and you must therefore not attach your hearts to it. While living here, your intellect should be attracted to the new world. You may live in your households, but become as pure as a lotus. Fulfill your responsibilities to everyone. Let your intellects be connected in yoga to the One Father. Become firm in knowledge and yoga. Due to no circumstances should the mercury of your happiness fall. Have patience and continue to cut away karmic bondages. Song: have patience, O mind, your days of happiness are about to come. Shanti. Human beings ask human beings to have patience when they are ill or unhappy. Here, you do not follow the dictates of human beings. You follow God's directions. However, not all of you follow them. The directions of God, who is called the true Father, the true teacher, and Sadguru, are very well known. God gave Srimad to human beings to change them into deities, for them to become the masters of the deity world. No one else can give such elevated directions. Since all human beings are impure and corrupt, they would only give directions according to that. Only your children know that shivbaba is giving you directions. The directions of the highest on high Father are the highest on high. No one would call him corrupt or impure. Only impure ones call out to that incorporeal Father. There is no question of a corporeal one, and this is why it is said, do not listen to the dictates of human beings. Hear no evil, see no evil. Even though your eyes see human beings, each of you has received a third eye with which you have to remember the Father while seeing them. No one else has a third eye with which they could see the Father. When you come to see the Father, it is in your intellect that He is a soul. You look at the soul. In fact, you should say you are looking at human being. When you just say sister, you forget the soul. It is explained here that you have to forget this body. Consider yourselves to be a soul and remember the Father. Look at Him with your divine eye. You souls have now been enlightened as to who your Father is, where He resides, and what you are to receive from Him. No one in the world makes effort like you do to claim the inheritance from the Father. Unless someone becomes a child, how could he claim his inheritance from the Father? The inheritance of the Father is limitless. The highest inheritance is to become a Sun dynasty king or queen. Although some pass the exam to become a barrister, they are number-wise. Some earn a lot of, whereas others are hardly able to satisfy their stomachs. You now understand you are claiming the kingdom from God. No human being can say of another human being that that one is the true Father, the true teacher, and the Sadguru. All others are gurus. There is only the one Sadguru who speaks the truth. All the rest speak lies. They cannot grant true salvation to anyone. We too did not know the praise of the Sadguru. It does not enter anyone's intellect how he is the true Father, true teacher, and the Sadguru. They call him omnipresent and finish everything. They do not consider the Supreme Soul to be separate, that He is the Father and that we are His children. They say everyone is the Father. They have made got even lower than this by saying that he is in the pebbles and stones. The father explains, it is not like that. Your children now have the faith that the Father truly is the true Father, the true teacher, and the Sadguru. No one else knows him. If they were to know him, they would be able to return home. If you know someone, you are able to know his name, form, time, and place. Otherwise, what would be the benefit of knowing that person? All human beings are experiencing sorrow, and that is why they want peace. They do not know they were originally residents of the land of peace. My original religion of souls is peace. I come from there. Baba explains that gurus cannot grant salvation to anyone. They simply put fear into people by saying those who defame the guru cannot attain a status. In fact, all of this applies to the unlimited Father. If you defame me, you will not be able to claim a high status in the golden age. Sannyasis cannot say that by defaming them, you will not claim a status. Which status? They do not know anything about a status. They make spiritual endeavor, but they cannot attain salvation by making spiritual endeavor. Only the Father comes and gives you patience. You know, you have truly been around the cycle of 84 births. You were very unhappy unless you had seen the land of happiness. How could you understand anything about the land of sorrow? You now know this is the land of sorrow, where there is only temporary happiness. How much happiness is there in this temporary kingdom? They think that Gandhiji established the kingdom of Ram, but that is not so. It has become the kingdom of Ravan to an even greater extent. Everyone says that they have become impure and corrupt. Previously, they were just impure, but now they are even called corrupt. Thus is the end of the Iron Age. There is so much bribery. The Father comes and tells all human beings of the whole world, have patience, but no one listens to him. At the end, everyone will know this. It is also shown in the exhibitions how the world of sorrow is being removed and how the world of happiness is being created. Everyone will eventually listen to this. On one side, Maya makes everyone's throat choke, and on the other side, the Father gives you his own introduction. This sound now has to reach many human beings. The more his praise is sung, the more it will also be printed in all the newspapers. Then many will come here. This takes effort. It is very easy to establish a religion or a sect extra. A Buddhist created 60 to 70,000 Buddhists simply with one speech. Here, there is a lot of effort to be made. Maya opposes you with great force. There is no question of battling with Maya. Here, effort is involved in battling with Maya. The main thing in this is purity. At no other place is there any question of purity. They, sannyasis, have this for their home. Or if someone has been stealing, he then adopts renunciation. This is why the government has to employ sannyasis in order to catch the thieves. They have to employ CID agents posing as sannyasis. There are even CID agents in the form of businessmen. The police carry out a lot of their work in an incognito way. Under the use of friendship, they become friendly with those who deal in gold, and they are then able to know everything. Those who are involved in this carry on with their business and also carry out their spying. The world is trapped in a lot of difficulty. You are very fortunate because you have been removed from all of those difficulties. In the world outside, there are difficulties after difficulties. There is a lot of attainment for you, whereas those people die unhappy. You are sitting here to shed your bodies. When our old bodies are finished, we can return home with Baba. Once your heart is attached to the Father and the new world, of what use is the old world? Thus is old cloth, and you have justice for it. Sannyasis have justice for their homes and families. They consider women to be snakes. Your justice is real. It is said knowledge, devotion, and justice. You receive the knowledge that you must have justice for the old world. It has to become a graveyard. Theirs is limited renunciation. They do not know that this old world is to be destroyed. They say we cannot live together at home, and so they have justice for their homes. They go away into the jungles. Your justice is unlimited, but no one knows about this. You say that you have justice for the entire old world, the graveyard. Thus is the kingdom of Ravan. Who would be such a fool as to attach his heart to the old world? Only when all the preparations are made and it is time for the golden age to come will the war begin. Many say we are sitting at home and are confused about what to do. How can we look after our children if we do not have attachment to them? The father says, children, you have to live here, but your intellect should now be attracted to the new world. Your true love should be for it. You have justice for this old world. You have justice for these bodies, and so what else remains? Many children say, Baba, you tell us to fulfill our responsibilities to both sides. We have to do that, for if we do not fulfill our responsibilities, we will become like sannyasis. While living in your households, remain pure. Make effort to remain soul conscious and connect your intellect in yoga to the Father. I am a soul and I have to go to the Father. The Father says, while living in your households, become like a lotus. If you neither have knowledge nor yoga, you will remain dangling. The horoscope of each one of you is different. Each one of you is given a different method. If you have any difficulty, you can ask Baba. Your mercury of happiness should rise under all circumstances. We are now returning home, and we will then go to the new kingdom. Very little time now remains. We have to play our parts and finish our attachment. The karmic bondages of each one are separate. Some have very few karmic bondages, whereas others have very severe bondages. You must take wise methods from Baba to cut away your karmic bondages with patience. Incognito effort is required for this. Effort lies in taking your intellect on a pilgrimage. The intellect's yoga breaks again and again. Now, if you were to become firm, you would attain your karmatit stage. However, there are now many types of storms of sinful thoughts in which you totally lose your sleep. Sinful thoughts are called storms. In other spiritual gatherings, these things do not exist. There, they simply have the pleasure of listening with their ears, but they do not experience any benefit. Here, this is a study for earning an income. A study is not called pleasure for the ears. The Father explains this is last birth and the old world is to be destroyed. Why should you not follow Srimad and claim a high status? Until you become clever in this, you have to perform actions for the livelihood of your bodies and then become engaged in this godly service. You have to salvage the whole world. You are the Salvation Army. You remove everyone from hell and take them to heaven. That Salvation Army does not know that the boat of the world is sinking and all are trapped by the chains of Ravan. The entire world now has to be salvaged. You need the Father's help for this. You are the spiritual, godly Salvation Army. You have to liberate all human beings from the claws of Ravan. You have to have this much intoxication. There are many of those physical social workers, whereas you are so few. Here, there are many human beings, whereas in the golden age, there are only a few. Only you few children claim the inheritance from the spiritual father. This last birth, which is as worthless as shells, has to become as valuable as diamonds. There is to be the establishment of the original, eternal deity religion and the destruction of the many other religions. The Father alone carries out establishment of the one religion and also inspires it to be carried out. It takes a lot of effort to plant the sampling and to carry out the establishment. Unless you make someone similar to the Father, your mercury of happiness will not rise. Only when you make donations will your mercury of happiness rise. Those who have wealth and do not donate are called misers. Here it is not like that. Those of you who have wealth will continue to give it. Otherwise, it would be understood that you have no wealth. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father, BapDada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says Namaste and good morning to the spiritual father. Essence for the dharana. First point, become the godly salvation army and take the Sankesh boat of the world across. You have to change human beings who are as worthless as shells into valuable diamonds. Do not be miserly in donating the wealth of knowledge. Second point, attach your heart to the Father and the new world. Have unlimited justice for this old world. Blessing. May you become an embodiment of success by constantly imbibing divinity with your divine intellect. Explanation. At birth, every child receives the blessing of a divine intellect from BapDada. To the extent that you use this blessing of a divine intellect, you accordingly become an embodiment of success, because divinity is the basis of success in every task. Souls who have received a divine intellect make anything that is not divine, divine. Such souls pick up divinity from every situation. Those who have a divine intellect cannot be influenced by any task that is not divine. Slogan. Consider yourselves to be a guest and your stage will become Avyakta and create. Om Shanti